I'll take you to lay, man, cause I'll buy you anything. But let's start mignon filet, then we can get away. Fuck up the plans you made, go ruin everything. I'll be counting down the days till we're talking wedding rings and BBS diamonds and chains. You love them fancy things, so max out my visa, go make it decline. If that's what it takes just to make you all mine. Yeah, you love to chase, but you hate when it's real. Drunk off attention, addicted to...
Hey, welcome back. My name's Rio.
My name is Justin.
And we're Burner Music Group.
Today we are going to walk through one of the songs that we did with Rio called Layame. A couple years back. We've been sitting on this one for a little while now and just put it out last year. But this was a really fun one to write. And I wanted to go through it and the way we created it and maybe even the story behind it. So Rio, kick us off.
Yeah, so just to talk about the song real quickly, it started from a melody idea, a voice memo, and a story. There's a restaurant here in Arizona called Layame, as the French would say. And for short, we just call it Layame. And in this song, we wanted to kind of showcase what it would be like to be on a romantic date night with somebody, to be taking them out, to be whining and dining them, giving them the best time of their life, only for them to break your heart.
And so what was most fun for me to write this song was Rio sent me this voice memo, was just had the spark of inspiration, was driving around in his car and sent it to me. And I'll play it for you here. And that's all I had to work with. And so my imagination just went to work and started building the instrumentals. And when we came back together, it was like, had confirmed that we were telepathically like speaking because Rio was like, yes, this is exactly what I was envisioning. And once we put those vocals with the instrumentals, it was just lock and key and so perfect together. So without further explanation, let's just play that voice demo that you had sent me the first day.
Took her to Layame, cause I'll buy you everything. But let's start mignon filet, then we can get away. Fuck up the plans you made, go ruin everything. Only got 20 days to be talking wedding rings. Yeah.
So crazy because that was totally a freestyle in my car of just a melody and set of lyrics that I was inspired to write based on a true story about a dinner gone wrong.
And so once he sent me that, as you saw from the prior playthrough, I instantly went for like this Blackbear sounding synth. That was like the first VST, first instrument I went to grab and started building that up, the drums around his vocals. And so just playing this whole chorus without his vocals, you'll hear where my mind was thinking. But even that said, I think it was just started with synths and basses and maybe the drums. And so there's really not a lot of heavy lifting going on in this in terms of layers and, you know, a 50 track thick chorus. It's a pretty minimal chorus overall.
And we're already working with the vocal cadence as well. And so you can hear that the bass and the kick are happening on the same time where there's emphasis on the vocals as well. So it was kind of already placed for Justin to be able to kind of be creative with the drums around it.
Yeah, and as you see here, there's literally one synth through this entire chorus. And so just soloing out the synth, bass, and drums.
Then we can get away. Fuck up the plans you made, go ruin everything. I'll be counting down the days till we're talking wedding rings. Yeah.
That's most of the chorus. Like, we put on some icing and sprinkles on top of that cake, but I mean, that's most of the chorus right there.
Yeah, and if you look back at the lyric melody, that didn't change much either. Excuse me. If you look back at the vocal melody, that didn't change much either, as well as the lyrics. Let's play it back one more time in its full form.
Yeah.
Hey man, cause I'll buy you anything. But let's start mignon filet, then we can get away. Fuck up the plans you made, go ruin everything. I'll be counting down the days till we're talking wedding rings. Yeah.
Yeah, so just a couple lyric changes. slight melody note tweaking, and ultimately the voice memo is exactly how the song came out in the end.
Yeah, it almost sounds one for one true to the original idea in that voice memo he sent me the first day, which is really cool looking back. But a couple other things I want to shout out here, just the producer and me catching a few elements. We've talked about this before, but doing a fill in ways that are not traditional to what we typically do, like drum fills or silencing out section to section every 4 bars. And so here what we chose to do was a little bass fill. I think was super cool, leaning into that like trap pop vibe we have here in this song.
Get away, fuck up the plan.
Playing that soloed out.
Little walk down.
Just a nice little moment that's unique to just that part of the chorus. You don't hear it anywhere else other than that part of the chorus, and it just signals the turnaround of the chorus here at the 4-bar mark. So I think doing things like that was really cool to keep it spicy, keep things moving in a very, like I said, thin chorus that doesn't have a lot of instruments going on.
Yeah, let's head over to the verse.
So checking out the verse now, let's play that one out.
All of these women wanna be my prescription, but I chose you. Been moving so different, like fuck a commitment they don't hold true. All of these places you're spinning me around. You got me dizzy, my feet off the ground. You held my hand, I made you smile. We could make this last like once in a while. I take you to London.
So it's my Jesse McCartney moment. I finally am able to just go off on a swoon for a verse, and you can hear how the vocals are kind of the center point of the entire verse, and we kind of build around it as we lead up to the chorus.
From a songwriting standpoint, it was very intentional to choose guitar here because these synths, which was, I think, like I said, the first VST, the first instrument we put into this project, didn't need to be throughout the song. It kind of loses its moment of special uniqueness when we put it throughout the song, and we did try that. Again, named after Hate My Guts from Blackbear. It's kind of that slow attack, but very fast attack at the last second. Love that sound. It just didn't fit the song throughout. So bringing it to a contrast, as we've done in a lot of our songs together, of bringing in a natural element. And so I sat here, I think with a voice memo, and this Ovation guitar behind me, and just played these chords and tried putting it in there. And I thought it was going to be a placeholder, to be honest with you. And Rio heard the final demo at that point and loved it. And so we kept them in here, obviously polished them up and redid them. But then layered it in the back half here with what is a loop. And I just called it like a Jesse McCartney sounding loop. It sounded just like very Jesse McCartney. I'll solo that out. Super pretty, but you layer that with what we already have here, and it adds this moment of like elevation, of increasing complexity in the verse.
Sounds really raw, just kind of gives it that songwriter feel, which is true to a lot of my music, giving it a live, larger than life sound, but then bringing it back down, like Justin said, to those humanistic moments with just a guitar and some vocals.
Yeah, and I really love that layering right there. But that said, don't be afraid to use loops. Layer in things as you need. Again, there wasn't a lot I could add to the guitar we've already put in here without making it overly complex. So I found a nice little loop to keep the idea moving along and keeping the song building. So use loops. Don't be afraid to do so, but make sure you're layering in parts of your own.
Heck yeah.
Let's hop into the chorus on the backside here, or maybe the transition into the chorus as we go forward.
I'll take you to lay, man, 'cause I'll buy you anything. But let's start mignon filet, then we can get away. Fuck up the plans you made, go ruin everything.
Some more percussion. We have a gated arp that got added there.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing to really note here is, after that very first intro chorus, which we've been a big fan from the Call Me song we did together, Leame here, starting with a chorus in the beginning. And you can go back and watch Call Me and see why we love opening with a chorus, but it's kind of been the new song structure I've been loving. And so after we get past that initial chorus, how can we, make the chorus still feel new? And we added in this gated arp. I think it was done by adding in this track here. We can hear what this sounded like originally, but soloing it out in its final form. super cool, like, call and response back and forth between those two that gives us some extra bounce, extra movement in what is, again and again, a very thin chorus.
It adds a lot of story to the music too. It adds that elevated element, as Justin was saying. And so when we start to play with different sounds back and forth, we take the time to experiment with what does sound good. So I'm sure we went through probably a bunch of different ARPs before we settled on this.
Yeah, and looking at how this was made, as I forget looking back, this was done with just a sample from Arcade, and then customizing it, making it our own, doing some EQ, shaper box, which we've talked about before, but a really good way to resample samples that everyone else might be using.
Right.
And then throwing a noise gate on there with a little sidechain compression to the synth we already have playing here. And it adds this really cool, like I said, call and response. Awesome. Cool. And then as we go forward, not much more to call out. This song's pretty... actually, let's go to this pre-chorus here. Let's jump into that, because that was a really big idea from you to kind of call back to a melody everybody's heard before. So let's play this section out here.
I was thinking all that glitters is gold. If you were a shooting star, why you so cold? I'll take you to lay me.
I'm just a massive Smash Mouth fan, so this was my homage to the late and great Smash Mouth. And the idea here is to interpolate lyrics to get people interested in certain sections of the song. The melody just seemed to fit there when it dropped out, and then it was time for a facetious joke as well.
Yeah, I thought it was really clever. If it can make me laugh, I'm all for keeping it in there. And so it was a good moment. And then the bass, I think, is super cool just to add this moment of difference to the rest of the song. You know, we're big on that. And that's adding this super dark, gritty bass, I think was super, aggressive, up the intensity of that part.
And it's also not in any other part of the song, I don't think.
Yeah, super cool, super clever. And then I guess as we go through to the final choruses, something I added, and I just threw it in there to see if anyone would really notice it. And I think I had to call it out to a few people to hear it. But once you've heard it, I don't think you're going to unhear it. And that's doing some of these cinematic moments here in the final post-chorus, which I'll play it through. You've already seen some of these samples, but see if you notice them. Check it out.
Fuck up the plans you made, go ruin everything, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Fuck up the plans you made, go ruin everything, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I think it's really good context painting. I love doing stuff like that. I've noticed that in artists that I love. And again, not everyone's going to notice it. Maybe something you feel more than hear, if you ever notice it at all. But I like to add what's called ear candy, so that on your 5th, 10th, 20th time listening to your song, your favorite song, you hear something new. Maybe you didn't notice before. And so, again, in the moment of maybe at the end of the song or the end of this terrible date, as Rio said, maybe you're just at the point where you're breaking glass, you're just peeling away, you're screeching your tires. So I think it was really good context painting, like I said.
We love this song. This is a song that's already out right now. You guys can go listen to it on Spotify, on Apple Music. Everywhere you listen to music, you can find this song, along with a lot more by Rio Wiley.
Thank you guys so much for being here to check out this video. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos from us. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, wherever you guys are at BeRealNotRight. We'll catch you guys next time. Thank you again so much.
Thanks.
Cheers.
We'll see you later.
I'll take you to lay me, 'cause I'll buy you anything. But let's start mignon filet, then we can get away.